You have thousands of people here. You're rolling out some big endorsements.
Yep.
What are you trying to prove today?
I'm trying to prove that the ideas that Alexandria and I believe in are the ideas that the working class of this country believes in. And our message, I think, is going to resonate not only here in New York City, but all over this country, because the people are sick and tired of a status quo in which so much political and economic power rests with the 1%, while so many of our people are ignored and are hurting, and they want change.
You're, of course, back in New York City where you initially launched your campaign. Is this a campaign relaunch?
No, it's not a relaunch at all. It's just an opportunity to be up there on the platform with Alexandria. This is right near your district, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're right bordering your
district. Just a stone's throw.
And it's also an opportunity to come to a community like many other working class communities around this country that have been ignored for too long. And what we intend to do in this campaign is go all over this country and meet with people who are struggling economically, who are working 2 or 3 jobs, who are paying 50% of their limited incomes for housing. We're going to go to those communities and talk to them and do our best to bring them into the political process.
Congresswoman, you were asked about a possible endorsement a couple of months ago. You mentioned Senator Warren and Senator Sanders. Why Senator Sanders and why now?
Well, I think what Senator Sanders represents and what his aspiration and what this campaign is all about is so much more than just running for president. This is truly about making an investment of our time and our energy in creating a mass movement of working class people in the United States, a revolution at the ballot box. And that is the only way that we are really going to be able to sustain and support systemic change, things like Medicare for all, tuition-free public colleges and universities, reinvestment and expansion in our access to housing and public housing in the United States. And so for me, you know, that alongside with the fact that Senator Sanders has been fighting on these issues for decades, understands the inner workings of Congress, understands what defending these policies take, I think is a major part of my support.
You redoubled your efforts and committed to this campaign as Senator Sanders was in the hospital. Did that have to do with this timing of an endorsement, helping the senator out at this time of need?
For me, it wasn't even about helping the senator. It was a moment of clarity, I think, for me personally, in saying, what role do I want to play? And I want to be a part of a mass movement. And I want to be a part of a revolution of working class Americans. And so for me, it was less about being overly politically calculating. And it was more about the authenticity and clarity of that moment.
In that interview a few months ago, you said of Elizabeth Warren, you said the ideas she's bringing to the table are remarkable and transformational. Those are pretty nice words for Senator Warren. Why not Senator Warren?
Well, you know, I think this isn't about why not her, because we all are on the same team. As I said, Senator Warren, Senator Sanders, myself, we represent, and I think we hope to uplift the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. I've volunteered and I worked on Senator Sanders' campaign in 2016, and I got to see how this campaign is actually organized. And the how of Senator Sanders' campaign is around mass movement politics. And I think that is something that is just thrilling and it's exciting and it's empowering for everyday people.
Interesting you bring up that distinction of the mass movement. Help me understand, what is the key distinction between Bernie Sanders-style democratic socialist, as both of you adopt that identity, and Elizabeth Warren-style regulated capitalism? What's that key distinction?
I'll let Senator Warren speak for herself. But what I believe is that the situation in America today is so serious, the problems are so deep, that we need a political revolution to solve them. We're beyond regulation. We need a mass movement of people to say healthcare is a human right. Education from preschool through graduate school is a human right. That the wealthiest people and largest corporations must start paying their fair share of taxes so that we can end the disgusting level of income and wealth inequality. Now, I can't sit down in the Oval Office with some folks and say, I want you to do that. I will try, but at the end of the day, millions of people are going to have to stand up and say, I'm sorry, my children and I are entitled to health care as a human right. My kids are entitled regardless of the income of my family, to get a higher education. And by the way, I want to save this planet for future generations, and Alexandria, through our Green New Deal, has done an extraordinary job in that. We have got to stand up, we've got to take them on. That's what our campaign is about.
It's also important to understand that movement politics necessitates an expansion of the electorate. I know that 2 weeks before my primary election, I was polling about 35 points behind my opponent. And that's because our strategy was not a polling strategy. Our strategy was based in expanding the electorate, which we did. So what we're doing, and I think what mass movement politics is it's very audacious in that we talk to people who don't vote. And we talk to unlikely voters. And we work on the work of transforming our democracy in addition to the actual ins and outs of a campaign.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.